Once upon a time, there was a young lady called Nnenne. Nnenne was epitome of success. At just 29 years old, she has risen to become a sought-after engineer in the oil and gas industry. Her home is in the heart of the city, reflected her hard work. A nice bungalow with gleaming floors, sleek furniture, and a car garage. Despite her wealth, Nnenne was known for her humility. She often said,
"Money doesn't define you. Your heart does."
Jibe, her house girl, was a petite girl in her early 20s with a bright smile that rarely left her face. Her pidgin English was clumsy, often drawing laughter towards people around her. But her sincerity and work ethic made up for it. She hummed a cheerful tune as she swept the marble floor. Jibe had only been working for Nnenne for 5 months, but the two shared a bond that went beyond employee and employer.
"Jibe, come and sit down,"
Nnenne said one evening as she's preparing dinner.
Madam, me sit down? I no fit. I get work.
Jibe replied. Nnenne rolled her eyes.
"Work can wait. Sit and tell me, how is your family back home?"
Jibe sat carefully, fiddling with the edge of her apron.
Them they manage, madam. Na my small salary, they help them chop.
Touched, Nnenne reached for Jibe's hand.
"You are a good person, Jibe. Don't worry, I will send you something extra for your family this Christmas."
Jibe's eyes was filled with tears.
Madam, God will bless you, I swear. You no be like other madams where they treat house girls like slaves.
"One more thing. Have you eaten today?"
Nnenne asked, setting down her work files.
Yes, madam. I don't eat rice you keep for me.
Jibe replied with her usual wide smile. Nnenne chuckled, shaking her head. "You mean you ate the rice?"
Yes, eat it.
Jibe corrected herself, laughing. Their laughter filled the room, echoing the warmth between them. As Christmas approached, Nnenne decided it was time to go shopping. The streets bustling with life, vendors shouted over one another, competing for customers, and the air smelled of roasted corns and spices. Nnenne waved through the crowd, her polished shoes clicking against the dusty ground. She bought dresses, shoes, handbags, and my hair wigs. She also picked up gifts for Jibe, simple but thoughtful clothing and shoes.
"Madam, you too they spend money."
The trader teased as she bagged the items. Nnenne chuckled.
"It's Christmas. Everyone deserves to feel special."
As she was about to leave, her eyes caught a wig displayed in a shop. It was unlike any other she had seen. Jet black, with a sleeking sheen that seems to glow.
"How much for this week?"
she asked. The vendor hesitated, his face shadowed.
Madam, that's for my hair, na special week. But I fit sell am for you. Just 150,000.
150,000 for a week?
Nnenne laughed. but felt an unexplainable urge against her better judgment, and she finally bought it and went home. That evening, Nnenne handed Jibe her Christmas gift. Jibe screamed with joy.
Madam, see shoe, see clothes. Ah, God bless you, madam.
Jibe danced around the room, crunching the items. Nnenne smiled and sat before her vanity mirror. Eager to try on her new wig, she adjusted it on her head, running her fingers through the strands.
How do I look, Jibe?
Nnenne asked, spinning around with a laughter. Jibe frozen in the doorway. The wig seems alive. A chill ran down her spine.
Madam, I don't like that hair. It get a CP.
Nnenne's laughter waved off.
What do you mean, Jibe? It's just a wig. Stop being dramatic.
But madam, I dey serious. Something no pure about that hair.
Go and rest, Jibe. Your imagination is running wild.
But before I continue with the story, I want to thank all my subscribers for your love and support. And if you are a returning viewer, please do well to subscribe to my little channel, like and share. And for my returning subscribers, hey, thank you for your love. I really do appreciate. Now back to our story. Nnenne said dismissively, 2 days before Christmas, Nnenne and Jibe traveled to Nnenne's village. The air in the village side was fresh. The sound of birds filled the atmosphere. Jibe looked out of the car window in awe, admiring the lush green environment. When they arrived, the villagers greeted Nnenne warmly. She hadn't been home in years, and it felt good to reconnect. That evening, she took a stroll through the village. Children played by the roadside, and women sold roasted corn and fruits. It was during this walk that she met Mike. Mike was tall, dark, and charming, with a ready smile. They struck up a conversation, and sparks flew immediately. He introduced himself with a warm smile.
You must be a city girl.
Mike teased.
And how do you know that?
Nnenne asked, laughing.
Your walk. It's confident, like someone who owns the world.
Mike replied. The two exchanged numbers and began talking frequently on the phone. It's not up to some days, and Mike decided to invite Nnenne for a dinner.
Can I take you out for a dinner tomorrow?
Mike asked, his voice deep and sincere. Nnenne smiled over the phone.
Why not? Of course you can.
Dinner with Mike was magical. They laughed, shared stories. Nnenne wore her new wig, feeling confident and beautiful. After the dinner, they decided to spend the night at Mike's house. That night, as they slept, the wig on Nnenne's head began to transform. It slithered like a living creature, morphing into multiple snake heads. The snakes moved towards Mike, their fangs grating in the moonlight. When Nnenne woke up the next morning, he found Mike's lifeless body beside her. Her breath caught as she spotted the snake bite marks on Mike's neck.
No,
she whispered, trembling. She stumbled out of the room, tears streaming down her face. without thinking if she grabbed her things properly. She ran as fast as her legs could carry her. Days later, Nnenne went to the stream to fetch water. When she met Peter at the same village stream, Peter, a banker, who was also home for the holidays. Peter was kind and gentle, and they quickly became friends. He invited her to her sister's bachelor's night, and Nnenne decided to go. The party was filled with vibes, with music, food, and laughter. Nnenne and Peter danced, drank, and became tired. Nnenne checked the time. It was past 1 a.m., which means she could not risk her life to go home at that time. They decided to sleep at a nearby hotel. But the nightmare repeated itself. At the midnight, the wig turned into snakes and attacked Peter, draining his life. By the morning time, Nnenne found him dead.
Oh my god, not again. Why is this thing happening to me?
She cried. Overcome with guilt and fear, she returned home and confided in Jibe, who is more like a friend to her. Jibe listened attentively.
Madam, that wig is not ordinary.
Jibe said, her voice firm.
It's from the Marine Kingdom. It was sent to destroy men's life.
But it's expensive.
Nnenne argued.
Expensive? It don't kill two people. You won't make it kill you too?
Nnenne buried her face in her hands.
What do I do, Jibe? I can't keep living like this.
Burn it.
Jibe said simply.
Madam, what is money compared to lives?
It was on Saturday evening. While burning old clothes, Nnenne accidentally threw the wig into the fire. Suddenly, the fire roared and the wig transformed into rattling snakes, hissing and screaming.
Help! Help me!
The snakes cried out. Nnenne and Jibe froze in fear as fire consumed the wig. Finally, the snakes disappeared, leaving behind nothing but ashes. Nnenne fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face.
I should have listened to you, Jibe.
It's over now, madam. The Wahala wig don't go.
Jibe whispered, holding her madam tightly. The Xmas holiday is over, and they traveled back to the city. Nnenne resumed her work, focused on rebuilding her life. One evening, Nnenne has closed from work for the day. She entered inside her car to drive home, but her car refused to start. She tried all she could, but the car refused to start. So she locked the car and ordered for a taxi, but none was available to pick her up at that moment. She started strolling home when a black car slowed down beside her. The driver whined down his car window.
Good evening, Angel. My name is James.
He said. James is a kind-hearted and successful man. Nnenne smiled.
My name is Nnenne.
Can I give you a ride?
James said warmly.
Of course.
Nnenne replied. She hopped inside James' car. Their connection was instant.
I don't know what it is about you, but you feel like a home.
James said softly as he drives her home. Over the couple of months, they fell in love quickly, and Nnenne, now wiser, she burnt all her remaining weeks. She stayed awoke during her first night with James, watching for any sign of danger. But nothing happened. The past was truly behind her, determined never to let vanity control her again. After months of love and laughter, Nnenne and James got married. As she looked into James' eyes on their wedding day, Nnenne whispered,
This is what happiness feels like.
for the first time in years, her heart was at peace. Jibe, standing proudly as her maid of honor, had smiled brighter than ever. As Nnenne stood beside James, she knew she had been given a second chance. She vowed never to take life or love for granted again. Together, they built a life filled with happiness, leaving the horrors of the past behind. The lesson of this story is always listen to advice, even if it seems unimportant. Nnenne's house girl, Jibe, warned her against the weak, but Nnenne ignored the advice because she thought Jibe's words didn't matter. This caused pain and losses. The story teaches us to value the opinion of others, no matter who they are. It also reminds us to let go of harmful things, even if they look good or expensive, because nothing is more valuable than life and peace. The last but not the least, pray over any wig, clothes, or shoe you purchase from the market before wearing it, because you didn't know the source of it. The end.